Welcome back to the BloomBox Show, the podcast where we talk to visionaries shaping tomorrow's business world. I am Meg Trivedi and I'm your host for today. Today we are joined by someone whose journey beautifully bridges the corporate boardroom and the classroom. A leader who believes that sustainability is not just a responsibility, it's a way of life. Our guest today is Mr. Shivkumar Krishnamoorthy, a 2003 alumni of this very institution, who has spent over 2 decades at Infosys, and he has led global teams in environmental, health, safety, and sustainability. His work spanned industries from oil and gas, automotive to high-tech, and FMCG, helping companies make sustainability a part of their core strategy. After 21 impactful years, he took a bold step, choosing to dedicate his next chapter to climate education and action. He's inspiring young minds through his initiative, World is One Family, to think consciously and act responsibly for the planet. Shivkumar sir, welcome to the BloomBox Show.
Thank you so much.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you here.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. And it feels great to come back to my own college. To be doing this podcast, and I absolutely feel thrilled. To be talking to all of you about my journey, and certainly, feeling great about it.
It must be feeling very cozy to be back here, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So your career at Infosys began in the early 2000s with core technologies like DB2 and IBM, working with US healthcare and financial clients, right? Fast forward a decade and we see your role shifting from core technical roles to sustainability. What brought about this change?
Okay, a couple of reasons why it happened. One of the things was there was a movie. I joined Infosys around in 2003. There was a movie by the name Day After Tomorrow, which I had released in 2004. I just watched it as a normal disaster kind of movie, which happens, comes from Hollywood. And I observed that, it spoke about human exploitation of the planet, and, that can lead to disastrous results. Of course, that had some impact on me, even though I didn't believe that, so much of it could be true. That did play on my mind a little bit. And then obviously I went to the US after that, after a year or so. I stayed there for 3 years. We all know that US is the largest emitter in the world as far as, greenhouse gases and other things are concerned, as far as wastage is concerned. But you don't experience it fully, unless you are there physically present. So being there in the US for 2-3 years, seeing it up close, I could find that, they, waste things in enormous quantities. They have bigger cars, bigger roads, and, they waste the amount of wastage, the amount of consumption, food consumption, everything is off the charts, right? So all these things play on your mind, when you're there. And that did have, that used to keep running in my mind, though I did not take any drastic decision as such. But I was like, am I going to continue this kind of job, forever? Probably better if I contribute in some way to the environment. So I waited, it's not that, I took a step immediately once I came back to India. I came back to India in 2008. And, I just waited for my chance. Then I realized in 2012 that, that a particular unit in Infosys had opened up, which was a sustainability unit, which was working on a product, sustainability reporting product, which was a different technology and all that. I felt that, I should move in that. So even though it was a different technology, and I knew that I had to fit it into the domain area, I actually ended up, working towards it. I had to do a 6-month course from CPT University Ahmedabad to be able to even qualify for that role in the sustainability unit, but I did that. So much determined I did it along with my job, and I went in and got in there. So that was the first phase of my foray into the sustainability world.
So you were working on the idea of sustainability and getting into climate action and climate education while you were at Infosys?
Yes, I was. Even though I would say that is a little bit towards the later portion. What happened is, I did get into the sustainability unit, and we were working on the product and all that. Things were going well for us for a couple of years. But unfortunately, due to the lack of funds, the unit also shut down. And, I had to get back to my mainframes job. I did that as a project manager for a couple of years. I was increasingly feeling frustrated because, see, when you have gotten into the sustainability area, you would want to express yourself there, right? And I was not finding any forum to express myself. And that gave, a lucky thing that happened was, they needed somebody to head the Infosys Pune Eco Club, a club which was into raising awareness for the employees. Right now, but they were just focused on mailers, and much of the club members had either quit the company or had gone abroad, and they needed somebody to take care of the club. I immediately pitched in because now that I didn't have any sustainability job as such, and I was back to my mainframe job. I'm talking about in 2014, 2015. I said that let me get into this. Let me get into this. At least I will get some satisfaction of raising awareness among the employees. And believe me, that turned out to be the biggest platform for me in my life to actually move, take this thing forward. So, I reconstituted the Eco Club. I changed the way in which environmental awareness was also communicated among the employees. Rather than just focusing on mailers, I started screening documentaries for, the employees. Free documentaries, mainly starting with wildlife documentaries, then moving on to more serious documentaries. I believe that by screening documentaries and getting people to watch that, it can raise a better level of awareness than mailers, which can easily get ignored in the bunch and the bulk of corporate mailers, right? So that is one thing we did. We all obviously had other movements also, like calling experts for talks, or having natural farming workshops, seed ball workshops, and all that. We also did anti-pollution marches between the campuses to urge people to go for public transport more rather than personal vehicles. So all that, I would credit the Eco Club with a lot of things, and I led the Eco Club for almost 9 years till I quit the firm. So I for that decade when I led the Eco Club, I was able to raise a lot of awareness, and obviously that helped me actually get back into leading the EHS and sustainability team as well, because I was more known as a guy who is leading the Eco Club, and that came to the attention of few people who were restarting the EHS and sustainability unit of consultants, and they asked me to come and take over that. So in a way, it helped me professionally as well, rather than apart from satisfying my own need of raising awareness in the sustainability domain, it helped me actually come back to the professional world in the sustainability area. So my journey, which culminated as the head of EHS and sustainability, had to do a lot with what the Eco Club had given me a push in there.
That's great. So after 21 years and reaching a significant leadership position at Infosys, you left it in April 2024. Most people in your position would ride that wave until retirement, right? Because it's cozy, it's in a bubble, you're in a cocoon of safety. What was the tipping point that made you take this huge decision of turning towards sustainability and promoting it?
Right. So there are multiple factors on it. Okay, I would like to talk a little bit about what we did in between. Even when I was leading this group of consultants, right? There was this period of COVID which had come in 2020. Till that time, all of these are connected. The Eco Club, my unit where I was leading the consultants, and the journey which I've embarked upon now. Till that time, the Eco Club used to thrive, because you used to depend upon in-person events. Employees used to come and attend, and that's how we became popular, and we were impactful. Yeah. But once COVID came in, everybody had to work remotely, and the power of the Eco Club was lost. Okay, so a lot of us, I and a lot of people in the Eco Club felt that what to do now, right? So and we had ample time during the weekends as well, because we were all in lockdown. Yeah. So that's when we created this website called as World is One Family, so that we raise environmental awareness among the general people. It's not just because earlier the focus was only Infosys employees. We were thinking one step ahead to raise awareness. So we did that, and we were able to create the website and all that. We had a particular 3-line motto for the website: inspire through creativity, enlighten through knowledge, protect through action. So we wanted to be true to that motto. So at least during that year of 2020, by creating the website, basing it on the Panchatattva of energy, water, air, earth and spirit, we did that, and we created some widgets on each of the pages. We had sections and tools like polls and environmental calendar and breaking news and all this stuff. So that was the result of our creativity through which we wanted to bring this awareness about. Obviously, we wanted to move on to the next step of enlightening through knowledge, protect through action. But obviously, the world opened up again. We all got back to our jobs. The website became a little dormant, but it had played a very important role in setting up the initial stage. Okay,
During the lockdown.
yes, so that was the foundation which got laid, and much of the people in the Eco Club helped me with setting up that website. That foundation was laid, and it used to play into my mind even as I got busy with my job and my consultants, and we were growing very well. The group of consultants were growing very well. We were expanding into, as you mentioned, newer domains like oil and gas, pharmacy, chemicals. We were able to attract new clients. We were able to bring in new consultants as well. I had a very young team also with me, and we had a great atmosphere in the team. I was able to mentor them, all of them well. I was thinking that, if I can work so well with younger people, leading them, why can't I have a larger impact outside the corporate world? By talking a lot to students and having them part of a larger movement to impact the planet. Because to be very frank, being in the corporate world, trying to do the work for clients and all that is still limited impact. You are doing your work. If you do your work well, you get better bonuses, better promotions, better appreciation from the client and all that. That is all fine. Your career is growing, but are you doing that much impact on the ground? Everybody has to ask that question to themselves. And somehow I was getting the feeling that I am not doing enough. I can do much more because my connect with the youth is very good. As I have seen, while leading this group of people, I felt that I can make a better impact if I go out. So it was only a question of a little bit of courage. Because, you are going to leave away all that, comfortable life and moving on to a space which is uncertain, right? I had to do that, but eventually I did develop the courage, and I thought, let me step out, because this is the right time to step out, because the planet is in grave danger right now, and the next 4-5 years are extremely important. If I don't step out now, then I may not get the chance again. I mean, I can ride it out till retirement, but I think it will be too late. So if I have to do anything impactful, it's better that I do it now. No. That's why I stepped away, and obviously it helps. And the fact that we created a website already, and that was there in my mind, that this platform is there, and we have already fulfilled one of the mottos, right? It's just to fulfill the second part of the motto, for which I stepped out and started my journey, reviving BeOff again, and going on to the next steps. That is what it's all about.
That's beautiful, actually. You already had a head start because of BeOff in the lockdown. That was very good use of your time.
Yeah.
So how did your family, friends, and long-term colleagues react when you decided that you are finally doing this? Was there a lot of support, and was that a driving reason that led you to finally gather up the courage?
A lot of people encouraged me. But I would be very frank, telling you that a lot of people felt that it was foolish of me to throw away such a good career and walk into this space. And I won't blame them for it, right? Because life at Infi was very good and all that. So obviously a lot of my friends were concerned about me, as to how am I going to be able to support my finances and all that stuff. It's not an easy world out there, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not totally against that. I'm fine with people having different opinions about it. I did receive a lot of encouragement, especially from my parents. I did, who supported me all throughout, saying that that I'm on the right path. Some people did have differing opinions, but it's fine. I would say overall, I took the feedback from them also, and promised to them that I'll be more careful with my finances, and I'll try to navigate that through my journey. But finally, I am a person who believes in listening to my inner voice, and my inner voice said that you have to take the chance and go ahead, come what may. That's what.
That is amazing. We, as younger generation, we need more influencers and more people telling us, giving us the wisdom that we should listen to our inner voice and not what the outside voice is saying, because it's so loud and there's so much of it all the time. So the name "World is One Family" is very powerful. It implies a lot. Can you tell us the philosophy and the story behind choosing this particular name as your organization?
Yeah. So the thing is, see, obviously, "World is One Family" is not an unknown term. it's been used about a lot nowadays. It was also part of our ancient culture as well, of the Indian culture, which Vasudeva Kutumbakam, which talks about, all the people of the world being belonging to one family, right? In a way that, it was meant to have people help each other. I just wanted to extend the idea a little bit further in terms of the environmental movement itself by including the entire plant species, animal species, bird species, and all of them.
beings.
All beings, all living beings coming under World is One Family. So, and that is justified by our logo as well. If you look at the logo, it will talk, it will have a tree, it will have a person, it will have a deer, and it will have two birds, right? So, when I'm saying World is One Family, it's not just the humans, but all of them. And it makes perfect sense because for the planet, to save the planet, you will have to save every species as well. You cannot just say that, we want to save the humans,
Yeah.
right? It is not possible. So whether it's the plants, the animals, the birds, everything, all the things in the ecosystem, even the insects are important. If the honeybees, the world population of honeybees collapses, the entire food ecosystem will collapse, right? So you have to understand that all of them are part of the family. That is why the name for the family.
That's beautiful. Your profile states that the World is One Family was ideated back in 2020 during the lockdown. This means for about 4 years, you were nurturing this idea while you were still at Infosys. And as mentioned before, you were also pursuing a lot of courses at the end of your job period, right? Can you tell us how you were managing all of this at once while still nurturing the idea?
Correct. See, yes, I would say that it got a little difficult. It was a little earlier during COVID, because we had a lot of free time during the weekend, right? So once the world opened up, and we all then went back to our lives, fully. Not only to our jobs, we had to get back to our campuses, start attending office in person as well, and all that. Apart from that, also, the other engagements open up because you can travel and all that, right? So all that takes up your time. So to be very frank, I didn't get that much time for VOF initially, but I knew that somewhere I had to keep it alive, right? And somewhere I have to enhance my skills as well, because I had it somewhere in my mind that eventually I will have to venture out on my own and make VOF big, right? For that, I need to have a certain set of skills as well to be able to propel VOF into the next level. So, as such on the website, we didn't work that much, but I focused on my own personal skills as well, apart from my job. So, I ended up doing, product management from IMK. I did analytics from SPJ, and I did strategic marketing from IIM Lucknow. All these courses I did to equip myself to be a better leader of VOF in the future when I have to handle it on my own, right? So I did all that. That preparation really helped me, so that it helps me refine my vision as well. All these, and you have to brand it well, you will have to market it well, because even if you're doing noble work, you will have to make sure that enough people hear it, right? So all those things, building up connects on LinkedIn, all that stuff has been going on. I used to keep telling myself that all of this is needed eventually when I do step out, and it has helped me a lot. Even as I stepped out of Infosys, I didn't directly just sit back and launch VOF. I took up a 1-year fellowship from Anand National University on climate action, so as to have enhance my own climate and sustainability knowledge more. Because being in Infosys, we focused on EHS and EHS digital solutions a lot. But if you have to teach students eventually about climate and sustainability, you need to know other aspects as well, right? Like industry decarbonization or carbon accounting or climate policy and all that, all of which I learned in Anand Fellowship, in my Anand Fellowship. So right from learning product management to strategic marketing to learning some climate and sustainability concepts, all of that has kind of convinced me that I can handle VOF on my own, obviously with few people around, and I can actually teach students also about all these topics. So which kind of brings me to the next two portions of the slogan. So when I talk about enlightening through knowledge, now finally we are what we are trying to do. And this idea was given by my own college, KJ Somayya. I had come here for a visit earlier and met with the dean and with a few other profs, and we were exploring the idea of whether a curriculum will be needed for a possible EHS sustainability course. And while that idea was given by KJ Sumya, I just deliberated upon it. That is still being deliberated upon whether it's going to become a part of this college or not. But I thought of why not have a curriculum completely to be launched as an online course from the VF platform, right? So that we are working on right now. It's a 50 chapter curriculum, and which will cover all the aspects of EHS and sustainability, and maybe not in a very deep way, but we expect to cover the entire bit of the subject, and that will help students who are not aware about the field, learn more about the field, and it will inspire them enough to pursue further studies in that field, maybe from reputed universities or colleges, or even from reputed edtech platforms. But our job is to become that bridge between them and to those that path which they want to pursue. So that's what we want to do. That will hopefully fulfill our second line of the motto, which is enlightening through knowledge. And the third part, protect through action, is something which we are trying to do by registering BOF as a social environmental trust, so that we can get CSR funds eventually to be able to use them for nature revival projects and all that. So that is what will complete the circle, and that is what has kept me busy for the last few months, ever since I have finished my fellowship.
That's great. It's actually very admirable how well read you are about the topic you were so interested in. It's very nice. So you've gone from managing multi-million-dollar budgets and large teams to now being the process of registering VOF as a trust to attract CSR funds. What has been the most humbling or unexpected challenge in transitioning from a corporate intrapreneur to an entrepreneur?
See, obviously the journey has been very humbling. When you step out, you feel that, you can conquer the world. Suddenly you realize it isn't easy, right? Because see, once you are within the Infi umbrella, even though that was also a struggle, to expand our unit and all that, but you still got a huge corporate brand backing you, right? So talking to either sales or clients to see that, to take our services as a EHS sustainability consulting is easier because you have a brand backing it, right? So things are easier to get through. I mean, getting projects worth millions of dollars is probably a little bit simpler than venturing out on your own with a relatively unknown brand, right? One family is not known by many people, and to be asking people to invest in you is difficult. And the thing is, this is a little bit different as well. We are not having a ready-made product to sell, right? I have found out that I have attended few climate summits and conferences, and I have been told by people that VCs will hesitate to invest, because VCs generally expect a lot of returns, and this is not a kind of setup which will bring you a lot of returns, right? So I have been advised that to approach impact funds, maybe because we are looking at CSR funds to eventually do nature revival projects and all that, which do not that kind of returns you cannot measure. They're not very tangible that that it will bring you X number of returns and all that, right? So impact funds might be the way to go. And also we are exploring the idea that probably the educational course of all these chapters on EHS and sustainability may have to be offered under a different entity or a for-profit venture, so that at least we can get some good steady revenue from there, so that we can keep all of this sustainable. So believe me, Mehak, this has not been easy at all. I would be lying if I didn't say that. It's easy. No, you do move out with a lot of courage and confidence, but the last 18 months have been very humbling. Money has not come by, but all said and done, I'm convinced to be on this path because I firmly believe in it, and certainly I feel that eventually the momentum will help us make things workable.
That's motivating. Okay, if you could go back and speak to the younger programmer analyst Shivkumar in Pennsylvania working on a healthcare contract in 2006, what advice would you give him about the journey ahead?
See, I would tell to the younger me that few things I would want to tell. That I would want to tell the younger Shivkumar to be more risk taking, to be okay with the fact that it's it's fine to fail, but it teaches you a lot of things, to be more communicative, to have a better connect with people of all strata. It's all because that Shivkumar was sincere and hardworking, a little bit intelligent as well, but was in his own cocoon, right? Didn't take many chances. This Shivkumar is a little bit more courageous, outgoing, and it has helped me immensely. I only wish that had I done it a little earlier in my life, it would have helped me even much more. But yeah, that is the advice I would want to give to my younger self and to every younger person out there as well.
That actually really helps, because even though I'm a part of this council, it's sometimes so hard to just take the opportunity that are coming to me, and it's very nerve-wracking. But once you do it, it's you feel so much lighter and so much more prouder about yourself and so much more confident, because you finally did what you feared.
And
then you realize the only thing stopping you was your fear.
So to mention to you, I for years was afraid to sing. I am a good singer, relatively good singer, but afraid to sing in my own college annual functions, right? Because I was so afraid of facing the audience. But all these years of conditioning, of being in the industry, of being able to talk in public settings and all that, has transformed me in a way that I can sing in public as well, right? And I did sing, at the recent KJ Somaya alumni meet. So, you have to get over your fears, and you have to face the people, and it's okay to fail. Because
it's truly a mind block. It's not really an obstacle. Fast forward 5 years, what does success for World is One Family look like to you? Is it a number, a policy change, or a feeling?
See, numbers, I wouldn't want to put it in numbers. It's very tough to, evaluate such things with numbers. Obviously, we would want some good revenue coming in. We would want, good funds coming in, and to be able to execute projects on a bigger way. But what I set out to do was to unite the world against this challenge. And mainly I want to do it among the youth, because I believe in the youth. I believe that the youth have a lot of energy in them, and this energy only has to be properly channelized to be able to bring about a larger change. We did see an evidence of that in the recent Kancha Gachibowli movement in Hyderabad, where the students who were appalled with, the 100 acres, destruction of the forest which had happened, brave lathi charges, took out movements, spread things on social media, and were able to bring it to the highlight of everybody, so much so that the Supreme Court had to intervene and to stop that destruction of the forest. They ended up saving 300 acres of the forest. This shows you what the power of youth can do, right? So for me, my measuring metric is that only. If I'm able to go to more and more colleges, impress the youth, have a lot of them join my movement, have a lot of them take sustainability careers, go into those companies, make them reform those companies, ask some tough questions, or work with me in terms of reviving nature projects, or even enhancing our website, or spreading the word and making VOF more powerful. I believe that will be a true metric. The more number of younger people I can get into the movement, that is how I would want to see VOF in the next 5 years as a very well-known brand, especially among the youth, to bring about change.
You do focus a lot more on the youth rather than already like the millennials and the generation above the millennials. Any particular reason for that?
More so that I see the youth as making more impactful change than us. I mean, it's not to say that we can't make a change. I mean, we can, but our chances have gone a lot because we have limited chances to make things work. But the youth have a lot of chances to make things work. Many of them are only starting their sustainability careers. All of us did not take sustainability careers while we were studying, right? The youth can. Even if they are doing graduation, if they are doing a graduation not in the sustainability area, they still can do their masters in the sustainability area, right? It's easy to pivot. Let's say if they are, just getting into a firm, they can be the ones asking more tougher questions because the youth is not afraid. Let's say, if they feel the pressure from that corporate, they can quit that corporate world and go. We were more, we played it safe more. So that's why I felt that, with our constraints, this generation is not able to take that many chances, but the youth can. That is why I focus specifically on the youth.
That's nice. Many listeners of our podcast are likely professionals in tech, marketing, finance, and may feel a similar pull towards purpose-driven work, but are afraid to leave their corporate safety net. Based on your journey, what is the first tangible step somebody can take to start integrating sustainability or social impact into their career?
See, it's not necessary for everybody to quit their jobs, right? I mean, I felt strongly about it. I felt that, I can make an impact outside, so I did. Everybody need not do that. But what I would advise people is, to just be more aware. Do not be caught up in your daily routine so much. You go, you work, you slog it out, you take your salary, you pay your loans and bills and all that, and again the cycle repeats. Absolutely, we don't want to live like that.
True.
Try to be a little aware. Don't break out of that routine. Think about what you are doing, whether you are really living your life. Focus on your health first, keep a work-life balance first, then try to see whether you are able to do something effectively for the environment or for the community around you. Try to take out some time for doing that. Try to see how much you are consuming also, not only power, energy, but even food. Try to see if your children can choose better sustainability careers. Stuff like that. I would want, for that it's very important that they take some time away, take a step back from their daily life routine and reflect what is required. Once you start doing that, I think obviously it will show you the path. Then you can engage with a lot of volunteer groups, or you can volunteer your skills in whatever way possible to help movements. You need not quit your job, but you can always volunteer your skills during the weekend or any spare time that you have, right? But it's important to be involved in something else apart from your normal work life and paying your bills or educating your kids, kind of a cycle. You need to get out of that. Unless and until you get out of that, you'll not be able to
quit autopilot.
Correct. So chances are that if you start doing all these steps, maybe at one point of time you will have enough courage and enough direction and enough vision to be able to do something of your own. But let us start with not living in that bubble, but truly reflecting as to what we are doing with our lives. I think that will help people a lot.
And even in, say, I'm a girl in tech right now, and even after being in technology, there is a lot of ways I can integrate sustainability into my career and my workspace.
Absolutely,
so
you can do that.
It doesn't have to be like you have to completely quit your job at whatever firm you work at or whatever you're pursuing.
Absolutely not.
And you can still contribute to sustainability because it's a way of living.
It's a way of living. In fact, people in tech, can contribute more. There is a lot of talk of AI for sustainability now, right? I mean, a lot of people doing AI. Those people can leverage their AI skills to work for sustainability. It's just about what you are working for. You just don't want to work for, just a corporate which has no vision, or and just take home your salary and just be happy with that. We just want to have mindful living, and how we can employ our own skills towards that mindful living and for the betterment of our planet. If we can do that, I think each one of us can contribute.
True. And following up on this, how do you feel about the technologies like IoT and AI and blockchain and stuff? They majorly contribute to a lot of waste production in the country too. Especially AI, it uses up so much water, it produces so much radioactive waste and stuff. How would you say, is it good for you? What are your thoughts on it? Is it good for us?
See, every technology comes with a flip side. And we have to be aware of it. So that is why, even when we talk about our curriculum, and our curriculum, my 50 chapter curriculum covers AI and IoT and blockchain, all of them. But it will always also talk about their flip side. So that, when students learn about that, they also have to be mindful about the adverse effects. Yeah, absolutely. Technology. So you have to have one eye on that. But at the same time, you cannot discard AI. You cannot discard IoT. That's the future. So you just have to use it in a better way, so that you don't end up exploiting the environment, but at the same time accelerating more towards sustainability. And I believe innovations can be done around that, and that is what the youth are for, right? I mean, you have to research and innovate and bring about better things in AI and IoT and blockchain and all that.
And there's nothing more an engineer loves than creating and engineering. So that's
correct.
If our listeners take away just one message or one action from your story today, what would you want it to be?
See, I would want to say that, we are at a very critical point now. As far as this planet is concerned, people say we are close to breaching the 1.5 degree mark of warming. I would say that we have already breached that.
Yeah.
So
Looking at
that's
the
very
current
dangerous.
climate
And
conditions.
yeah, and the Paris Agreement, which was signed 10 years ago, talked about most of the countries being below 2 degrees mark, especially beyond 1.5. 1.5 is already lost. The next target is 2 degrees, which could be easily breached in the next decade or even earlier, right? If we continue to keep going about the same way. So the next 5 years are extremely crucial. What I would want to tell everybody is start living sustainably. Try to see if your children can enter the sustainability field. Try to see if you also can volunteer towards saving the planet in whatever way possible. Try to acquire more knowledge, both at your level, at your children's level, and let us all make it into a movement in which we try to save our planet. The time has come. I don't think we can afford
Any more
to.
damage to the planet.
Correct. We can't. And we can't afford to take it any more lightly. So,
I mean, we are watching in real time ice cubes and huge icebergs melt and flip
Correct.
in the ocean, which is so
correct. Correct.
sad.
It's all very frightening, and it is coming to you sooner than you can expect.
Yeah.
And they say there's a very famous saying that when the last river has been poisoned and the last fish is dead and all the crops have failed, man will realize that he can't eat money, right?
Yeah.
So that is one thing I think.
Capitalism is not everything.
Correct, correct. So people will have to realize that it's better that they start acting now. Otherwise, it might be too late.
All right. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the BloomBox Show for more such inspiring conversations. And we'll see you again next time.